Alright guys, today we're just going to be going over some small update features. The patch itself was actually probably, well, it's not even a patch, it was just a standard weekly shift, but the actual changes that we got to the game were pretty substantial. I'm not going to be going into the huge depth with one of them. I will later when I understand it better, but I'm just going to be going over a few basic changes and some of what we got. So, as you can see here, Gerard got his Gate 5 today, along with Natalie and Vettel as part of the Scarlet Flame group, as well as the rest of the Disgaea units, Selena, and Arthur from Crystal of Reunion. Now, Selena, she did get her job plus today, and I haven't really looked into it much, but I hear her speed basically got doubled. Um, Another thing that came out today were spy JEs, and I really haven't taken a big look at that because all the people who got it, I don't have any of them that I actually use. Unfortunately, I took a look at my DL Mira, and I just do not think that, I don't think she can be good. Even with Leafa, it, it's really hard to justify raising her. Because, see, here's the deal. Like with Tamamo, Tamamo can't do a ton of damage, but Tamamo is farmable. Tina doesn't do a ton of damage, but Tina is farmable. Dialmira is a collab unit. In order to raise her, I'd have to drop 375 wind frags and then an additional 210 Kaigan frags, maybe even 270 because her leader skill actually isn't half bad. But the point is that it's just not worth the frags for what I get, so I don't think I'm going to raise her, which is sad because I really, really wanted her to be good, especially because it seems that I have failed to get Disgaea Rosa, which I really did want, and I probably would have raised regardless. I do have D-Rosa in Global, but it's not in Japan, so that's unfortunate. Anyways, this is not actually Gerard's HP. He did get his JE on his Holy Brawler, and so I have to redo the Iron Body skill, and I just did the sub first, so that's not his actual HP. It'll be a bit higher, but yeah, he's got a lot of HP now, and that is with gear on, by the way. So what else do we got going on here? So as of today, Japan no longer has job enchantment materials. They got rid of JE coins as well. What we have instead is better. So, in case you don't know who this is Arthur, and he is one of the units who got Kaigan today. He also got an upgrade. He got Shura, which means now he does a boatload of damage, but I think his major issues with Jules still remains. But I'm going to use him to demonstrate what exactly changed here. So if I go into here and I click on the Shura job material, you'll notice that there's this red crystal looking material. And basically, this is the equivalent 1-to-1 for job enchantment coins. And the way it works is these will work on any job enchantment material you work, including the actual tokens required to unlock the jobs themselves. So you can farm these from the enchantment quest, and they actually have not gotten rid of the material maps. So you could actually go and farm, let's say, a Dark Knight Faust from the job enchantment material maps and still get those materials. So it's not like they were just axed from the game entirely, but what it is you no longer have to go and buy those materials to do the upgrades themselves, and you don't have to farm specific materials. You can farm a general material and upgrade any unit you want. This is a huge quality of life improvement because before you'd have to wait for the shop to reset multiple times in Japan to buy things with job enchantment coins, which in this day and age in Japan is normally the preferred way of doing it because we get lots of job enchantment coins from just various events and stuff where Gumi will just hand us 4,000 job enchantment coins because why the hell not? It literally never made sense to me why they handed that out like candy. But it is what it is. The change is definitely a welcome change. It's definitely not something I was expecting. I don't remember hearing anything about this ahead of time, but hey, it is what it is. I'm glad it's here. And Yeah, so all of my job enchantment coins got converted into that crystal 1 for 1, and I went and upgraded a bunch of job enchantments. The only reason I can't raise this one is because I'm actually missing the other Holy Brawler material. I need 21 more of those. I'll get it next time it comes around in the shop. It's not really worth going out and farming it. So, other changes. Actually, let me go back into here because I can show you what the other changes are here. So let's head over to Sharon, and you might have actually noticed this on Arthur. So look up here at my weapons, and you'll notice one of them now has a blue border, and that blue border is new, and let's go take a look at it. Because this is the big update. Basically, the best way I can describe it is it's Kaigan, and I just exited out of it. Let's go back in here. So basically, the best way I can describe this is Kaigan for gear. And it's probably just as toxic as it sounds, but I don't know the full details yet. All I know is that it is somewhat RNG intensive, and you are going to need dupes. So make sure you save up those Chloe VCRs. You are going to need them. The actual process is still kind of being investigated. We have an idea of what you can get from it right now, but as far as the actual obtaining it and seeing what all of it does, that's going to take a little bit of time because once again there's an RNG element involved. I will be releasing a separate video on this. It looks like they're going to be doing one weapon type at a time, considering the fact that only one-handed swords got this update for now. There are definitely some weapons and stuff that I'd like to see get it, but it really is going to depend on just how hard this is to pull off. What I can say is that VCRs like Chloe's sword, while it might seem like this is super difficult to get, it's actually probably going to be easier than something like, say, Tiger Chris, where it's actually not that easy to get them, because you are going to need these to be 5-star weapons, it sounds like, at level 30 in order to do this upgrade process. So getting gacha weapons through this process is probably going to be painful. So farmable gear like Sharon's weapons, which is in this case 30 attack, 10 jewel gain, and 7 evade. It's not a bad weapon, but it might be able to get pretty good with this new Kaigan system, and since it's always farmable, it makes for a really good possibility for some of these farmable weapons to actually pull ahead of their gacha counterparts. Not to say that the gacha counterparts couldn't be better on just sheer better stats and getting it, but it's definitely going to be a cheaper option, and some of these farmable weapons may become better than their 5-star counterparts with this update. I don't know if accessories or anything's going to be included in like this. Like, for instance, right here I have Bond's weapon, and Bond's weapon is actually only wieldable by Bond, and it is an accessory. So that means while it might be possible that Meliodas' weapon will get this, if they don't go through the accessories, Bond's weapon will not. So keep that in mind when you are going through your collab things, and it might be worth farming like an extra 2 or 3 collab weapons just to be sure. And I'd only do this for the weapons, by the way. Which reminds me, I need to now go farm an extra Merlinus staff or 2. But I would definitely go ahead and get those, because it sounds like the weapons themselves will get their upgrades on the actual rerun of the collabs themselves. So that's really all I have for this at the moment. I'm not going to go deep into the process of how this works. Just know that, like Nenso's, you are going to have to run maps. Like, you cannot skip ticket in order to get these upgrades. You're going to have to actually manually run maps. It can be on auto, but the fact of the matter is you're going to have to manually press that button. Unless you're on Nox or something, in which case, I hope you don't get caught. But, that's all I have for that at the moment. So, as of today, Chapter 5 is finally completed in Japan. So, this is pretty big, right? So, 5, 5, 3, 10. that is the final part of chapter 5. So I got to see how it ended. If you want spoiled, well, I'm not going to do it here. Namely because the spoilers that I could give you right now are so incredibly massive, and you're going to need a long time before you catch up. I'm sure you'll hear it through the grapevine, but yeah, it was pretty crazy there at the end. There was a couple things that were confirmed from suspicions that we had based on some data pulled from the files, and also the nuances, or just blatant nuance, that Gumi has been dropping for months now on a certain DG relationship that may or may not have happened, that was strongly suggested but never confirmed, may now be confirmed. In case you were into the whole shipping scene, I will say I ship it. But I really hope that our flaming katana Logi swordsman is on its way. Alright? And anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's a meme that we have in the global Japan discords about Logi's Job 3. Because that's going to actually be a perfect segue into my next comment. It has been confirmed by Gumi in a past comment that in Chapter 6, all of the main characters will be receiving a third job. And this is big news, because what it means is that the main characters might finally become much more viable. Because right now, they're missing an entire job max bonus, which just kind of puts them at a major disadvantage behind all other units. And even with job pluses, not having that third job max is just really hurts them in the HP department, for one thing. And it just all around hurts their stats. If Gumi actually goes in and gives us some decent jobs, and there's a good chance these job 3s will, like, I don't want to, like, make up terms, but I imagine that the job 3s are going to somehow be linked to the story in some sort of way, in which they, for lack of a better term, ascend into, like, a higher tier of power. It makes sense from a storytelling perspective, and also it'll probably be accompanied by some stupid limited Nenso, because they are just looking to milk us for every dollar they can anymore. But I am looking forward to these third jobs. I really hope my Tina gets better and better. And I wouldn't mind if Edgar gets a little bit better too. He's already actually not that bad anymore against water humans. The problem with the MCs is that all of them just lack the oomph and the damage in order to actually make a huge difference on the battlefield right now. So, hopefully we'll see that come and fix itself in Chapter 6, but until then, who knows. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of this other stuff. So we got the next collab shop. It's got the Prinny swords in it. I am almost certainly not going to buy them. I just much rather save for other things. We've got some collab Kaigan materials here. They're nothing huge. 50 shards for all the units that just got their Kaigans this week. And your other basic crap. Nothing to see here. It was nice to get the archer tokens because I needed them. As for the next shop, this is in Japan. Every single time we get a story release, we get a special shop. In this case, it had some skip tickets in it. It had 500k for 6 job enchantment tokens, which saves us some AP. We've got some of these boxes that have, like, main character shards in them, among other things, some apples and that kind of thing. We got this here, which is a shop related to the Gear Kaigan. And if I go ahead and take a look at this, these are not great options per se. It looks like what it's designed to do is it's designed to give you a weapon Kaigan. It looks like you're going to need 3 weapons in total, if this is something to go by. The Crawley sword does have an upgrade that only, I think, Logi and Zeke can use, but I'm not too sure on that yet. I have a ton of Crawley swords in Global, too. It's kind of stupid that I keep getting that from the gear gacha, which is why I stopped pulling on it. I don't think we've had any updates to our coin shops at all, except the fact that obviously our job enchantment coins are now completely missing. So we'll just hop into the events quick here. This week in the event category, all of the normal quests are on 3 times drop in the collab events. I didn't actually check to see if these are. Yep, these are too. So if you needed something and you're playing Japan, this is a great time to farm Usalia, farm Prinny, farm Merlinus gear and Merlinus equipment and Arthur equipment. The one thing I will say, this 12 AP stage 3 is really freaking good for getting the compass designs and the notebook. So farming this on 3 times drop is probably going to be super valuable if you need those 2 pieces of equipment. I know when this collab first came around, Crystal of Reunion collab first came around, I farmed that map for a very long time, and I got like 100 compasses or something. It was ridiculous. They probably released higher tiers of EXs. I didn't actually check that. They did release this new map, and I haven't actually even looked at what this map is. It does seem like it does give out a Gate 4 and 5 Kaigan material, so it's probably going to be pretty difficult. But who's to say, because it is 10 AP, it might just be some throwaway map. We'll see. It does say that you should have player level 120. This week for VCR farm, we have the MV-VCR stage, and we have a stage that's for the Arthur and Crystal Reunion Nenso, the Emma Nenso, and the Rado Beach Nenso. And I have no idea how they came up with that combination, but it's one heck of a combination. I don't even know what those units have to do with each other. And yeah, let's just hop over to the daily events here and check and see if there's anything over here I missed. And I just have my daily stage. This one gives out 1 mechanical Nenso vision, and it obviously comes on Thursdays, once a week. And I'll just give you a quick look at this here. So as you can see, the job coin has been replaced by this material, but the job mats themselves still do exist. And I think that might be it. There really isn't much to go over this time around, just because it wasn't like a patch or anything, so it wasn't like there's a huge update. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I know this was a bit of a shorter one, and I hope to see you next time.